Klaus Miller is Assistant Professor of Marketing at HEC Paris. I asked him what impact AI in advertising was having on the relationship between consumers and adverts.
Well, first of all, I think it depends whether customers actually know that the ads are AI generated. If customers don't know, I think AI can perform as good or even better than human creative teams can do that. What we know from academic research is that if consumers at least today know or learn that ads are AI generated, there can be reservations which may lead to a situation where ads are actually performing less well or are less effective.
Do you think the ad market is irreversibly moving towards integrating AI? And what kind of major shifts do you anticipate in the industry?
I think there are a lot of efficiency gains from artificial intelligence, especially when it comes to routine tasks. So I think many ad agencies will be adopting it. As I said before, I think it's important that ad agencies learn to work together with the artificial intelligence. And this will give us the opportunity to do a large-scale personalization, in a sense, better ads, more effective ads that will also lead to more consumer purchases.
And could you just drill down for us into the specifics of how this actually works? Is it just a case of creating content scripts for adverts or images and pictures? What exactly is the AI element creating?
In the end, I think AI can generate many of the routine tasks. As you said, it could be used to generate images, videos, to generate ad copy. But it can also use a lot of input data that is generated, for example, from consumers themselves. It can use data on the internet, and it can, of course, rely on the inputs by highly creative people in the advertising industry, and all that ideally would lead to better ads while safeguarding ethical considerations, for example, when it comes to data privacy and data usage.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about that and trust and consumer data. How do you see the evolving role of consumer data in AI-driven advertising, and can the consumer trust be balanced with using this data?
I think consumer data is an important input into AI models, and more and better data will make also the results of the artificial intelligence better. But it is important that the data that is used to train the AI is collected in a lawful way. It should be based on consumer consent, for example, when it comes to European consumers, where the GDPR applies, and should also adhere to concepts. For example, one of them is contextual integrity, so data should be used in the context where the consumer has provided that data and should not be taken out of context, which would lead to perceptions of privacy infringement.
Generally, are governments behind the curve in terms of the legislation that's required to keep things in check with AI?
Yeah, I think we already have existing laws that would also apply to AI. For example, you mentioned the GDPR, or there's also the AI Act in the European Union. But of course, a big question here is the transparency. So in the end, we don't really know which data has been used for training AI models. And at a minimum, I think we would require firms that supply those AI models to be transparent on which data was used, and to also allow consumers to learn whether their personal data rights, for example, were infringed, or whether, for example, data was taken from other copyright owners, for example, when it comes to copyright owners such as digital publishers that provide a lot of data online.